Ciao Mondo. I'm really excited to be sharing a little bit more around the word Shakti today. Shakti is a word that has always been really powerful for me in my personal practice and my spiritual growth, because I really resonated with the idea that is the source of all energy, creation and destruction, and creativity in the universe. The idea is that Shakti is a divine feminine energy, but I really want to encourage you guys to think about it more as the source of creativity, the source of the cycle of life, all the energy that moves everything. It's often thought of as almost like a pranic energy, right? It's like the wind behind everything, the origin behind everything. And it's even said to be the origin of prana itself, like the subtle push that begins it. It's also often associated with kundalini, that energy coiled, the snake-like energy coiled at the base of the spine that really brings forth that deep connection with the spiritual self as well as your deep creative energy. One of my favorite stories about Shakti is the creation of the universe. So this idea that, first there was Shiva holding space and it was nothingness. And until you had that dynamic energy of Shakti, nothing really started to move. And then all the stars crashed together and the stones and the bits of the universe became grander and more beautiful and flowed into life. And so that's always been so compelling to me, that creative energy brings forth so much. And so it's almost like a request from the universe to be your biggest self, to let your creativity truly flow. Some other things that I really like about Shakti is that it's manifested in so many different forms. You see through the specifically feminine lens the embodiments of all the goddesses. So you have, Kali for that destructive energy. In my mind, I like to think of her as transformation energy. You need to make space for that new creative Shakti to flow in. If you don't clean the house, right, there's no more space in there. So she's like a strong transformational house cleaning. And then you have Durga, who is this incredible fighter. So the one in my mind who really helps you believe in yourself. So pulling that Shakti of inner strength and confidence and action forward. And then you have Saraswati, who is known for her muse-like qualities, her ability to really be deep in learning and study and creativity. She's always represented with instruments and scrolls, as she is a teacher and a musician and a creative in all senses. And then of course you have Lakshmi, which is that like beauty and abundance and like the sweetness of life. And I really loved that, specifically in the story of Durga, you see Durga pull all of these goddesses out of her, and the demon that she's fighting complains that she's cheating because he's not going to win if all these goddesses are fighting him. And she's like, okay, fine. And then she pulls them all back inside of herself again, essentially saying that, we have all of these aspects inside of ourselves. They sometimes take turns coming out and being more apparent when they need to be. So you can think of it in that more Puranic sense, more of the storied sense of the tales in the different books of the Hindu culture. And you can also think of it more in the metaphysical sense and the deep spiritual sense of, the energy that makes the universe flow and continues to move. And as I was thinking about this word, I also wanted to ask you guys to think on what it means to you in your practice. I think sometimes Shakti can be an energy that feels very gendered. And one of the images that I really enjoy is Ardhaneshvara, which is a half male, half female sculpture embodying both Shiva and Shakti, really speaking to the importance of both of those energies embodied in all of us. And so my question to you would be, what is Shakti in your life? When do you feel that creative, energetic force? And are you afraid of it? Are things you do to block it? Do you give it space? I know that in our society, we have a tendency to give one or the other priority, but are you allowing yourself space to actually let Shakti flow in the simplest ways. You know, do you give yourself room to have new ideas? Do you give yourself an opportunity to clean house, participate in that destructive energy in a way that's really transformational? I think it's often very common that the image of Shakti and also the image of divine femininity is used to create a certain persona of idealized womanhood. And I really hope that this conversation can help you start to break through some of the edges of what that word means into the greater meaning and the deeper spiritual root of this incredible, powerful source of energy that flows through all of us in all of its many forms. So I know that's a very broad description of the word, but that's how I've always felt it embodied in my life. So I hope you enjoy, and I'm so excited to share more with you. I miss you all so much.